In just a few days, the entire football world will be holding its breath for one thing: the grand showdown, El Clásico.
It was a classic Clásico, one that Real Madrid fans will want to forget very quickly, one that Barcelona fans will be more than happy to remind them about for years.
Real Madrid versus Barcelona, the rivalry that stops time itself. Sure, both sides still have a couple of games to take care of before the big day, but let's be real, no one's thinking about those. The buzz is already electric. Fans are circling October 26th on their calendars like it's a national holiday. Every conversation, every debate, every social media post is building toward that one question: Xabi Alonso.
And I think from Xabi Alonso's standpoint, him coming in, I think this is really interesting because it highlights the fact that, say, for Barca, even though they have stars, their strength is the fact that they are a collective.
Let's rewind to last season's El Clásico, because if you're a Real Madrid fan, well, this part stings. It wasn't just bad, it was downright humiliating. 4 meetings, 4 losses. The combined score? A jaw-dropping 16-7 in Barcelona's favor. And to make it worse, no team in history had ever put 16 goals past Real Madrid in a single season before. Hansi Flick's Barca did. Once upon a time, El Clásico was the biggest event in football. Messi versus Ronaldo, Guardiola versus Mourinho, the ultimate clash of titans. You never knew who'd win. Every pass, every moment was electric. But last season, there was no suspense. Barcelona completely dismantled Madrid again and again. The first blow came in La Liga with a ruthless 4-0 win. That was Mbappé's first Clásico, and boy, it wasn't the debut he'd dreamed of. 5-2 to Barcelona. Next, the Copa del Rey final, a thriller that ended 3-2 to Barca. By this point, it was 3 Clásicos, 3 losses, and 2 trophies handed to, and just when it looked like things couldn't get worse, Madrid had one last chance to save their season, beat Barcelona and stay in the La Liga race. But nope, they lost again, 4-3, in a wild shootout. And even grabbed a hat trick, but it still wasn't enough. He became only the 4th player in Madrid's history to lose a league game despite scoring 3. That's how rough it got. So now, heading into this new season, Los Blancos are fired up. They've been waiting for revenge. Under Xabi Alonso, they look sharper, faster, and more dangerous. Xabi Alonso's influence on the team's tactics is clear, and so far it's paying off. But let's be honest, the opposition hasn't exactly been world-class. Wins against Osasuna, Real Oviedo, Mallorca, and Levante don't tell us much. Then came the real test: Atletico Madrid.
Race already. Alvarez again! Brilliantly done! Oh! He's done it again! 4-2!
Atletico ran riot, winning 5-2. It was the first time in nearly 75 years. It was embarrassing. For Xabi Alonso, this was a cold, harsh reality check. His bright start suddenly looked naive. Atletico showed what experience and grit look like in a derby, and Madrid just didn't have it. And that's what makes this all so telling. Real Madrid can beat up the smaller teams all day, but when they're punched in the mouth by a side that presses hard and fights back, they crumble. It's a worrying pattern. So, does this derby performance tell us exactly what we should expect when the Clásico rolls around?
I said I was a bit worried that they were going to be boringly good, that they were going to be good this season in a way that just denied opponents the chance to create any chances, that they weren't going to allow anyone to even really compete with them today. And today we saw the complete opposite. We saw an Atletico Madrid team that went right through them.
Now, that one little stumble aside, Real Madrid has looked rock solid this season. Their defense, composed and disciplined. Their midfield, calm and in total control. And their attack, explosive, like a fireworks show that just doesn't stop. They've been flying out of the gates, and when you glance over at Barcelona, who've looked a touch shaky lately, you can already feel that buzz. This upcoming Clásico isn't just another league match. It's the kind of game that grabs the world's attention. Even this early in the season, it's shaping up to be a blockbuster. Both squads are packed with talent, but the story right now is all about Madrid's transformation. Xabi Alonso's arrival has totally changed the vibe around the Bernabeu. His new ideas, that fluid, confident play style, it's reignited belief among the fans. You can feel it. The Madridistas are walking taller these days. Just before we continue though, guys, Kicks with Seb is back with bringing you more quality content like this, and in turn, all you've got to do is hit that subscribe button to the channel to get more video like this. And honestly, they've got every reason to feel confident, especially when you peek at what's happening over in Barcelona's camp. The injury list at Hansi Flick's side is piling up fast, and it's brutal.
Robert Lewandowski has suffered a thigh tear, a muscle tear in his thigh, so there's an uncertain recovery time there. Reports suggesting it could be 4 to 6 weeks, meaning he would miss El Clásico. Robert Lewandowski has suffered a thigh tear, a muscle tear in his thigh, so there's an uncertain recovery time there. Reports suggesting it could be 4 to 6 weeks, meaning he would miss El Clásico.
Robert Lewandowski and Dani Olmo both returned from the international break carrying injuries, throwing their Clásico participation into serious doubt. That's huge because Barca's already struggling with missing starters. Losing those two would be catastrophic. But the list doesn't stop there. Barcelona's treatment room is overflowing. Rafinha, Gavi, Ferran Torres, Lamine Yamal, Fermin Lopez, and even both goalkeepers, Joan Garcia and Marc-Andre ter Stegen, are on the sidelines. The only glimmer of hope? Maybe, just maybe, Fermin could return in time. Everyone else? Ruled out. That means Flick might be heading into El Clásico with only 2 fit attackers, Marcus Rashford, and a potentially half-fit Lamine Yamal. Talk about a worst-case scenario. Meanwhile, over in Madrid, the energy is completely different. Almost the entire Real Madrid squad is expected to be available for the massive Clásico on October 26th. The timing couldn't be better. This showdown at the Santiago Bernabeu isn't just about bragging rights. It could shape the early La Liga title race. Sure, there are still a couple of matches before kickoff, but both clubs have one eye firmly locked on this date. Earlier in the season, Madrid had some fitness doubts, a few key players nursing knocks. But now, things are looking great. Unless there's a last-minute setback, nearly everyone should be ready to go. The only confirmed absentee is Antonio Rudiger, still recovering from that anterior rectus injury in his left leg and expected to return by year's end. But aside from him, it's all good news. Even the right-back situation looks brighter. Trent Alexander-Arnold and Danny Carvajal are wrapping up their recoveries from muscle injuries and are on track to compete for that starting spot. Massive boost. And as if that's not enough, Franco Mastantuono, Kylian Mbappe, and Dean Huijsen are all back in full training after shaking off minor knocks from the international break. As El Clásico draws closer, Real Madrid looks stronger than they've been in years. Most of their key players are nearing full fitness, the squad depth looks healthy, and there's a real sense of momentum building around the Bernabeu. Sure, the defense still faces a few questions, but the additions of Álvaro Carreras and Dean Huijsen have completely changed the mood. And honestly, it was about time, because last season, that backline was a mess.
They were beaten and dominated by Liverpool. They've been beaten twice by Barcelona. They were beaten by AC Milan. They had to come back from 2 goals down in the first half against Dortmund. They were beaten away in Bilbao. And so I think there is a sense that there is something missing from Real.
Let's not sugarcoat it. Real Madrid didn't lift a single major trophy last season, and a huge part of that failure came down to their shaky defense. They conceded roughly a goal per league game, and whenever Barcelona showed up, it was like watching the same horror movie on repeat. Barca through the gaps, slip it wide to Rafinha or Lamine Yamal, and then bang, goal. Rinse and repeat. But this season feels different, because Madrid might finally have found the missing pieces. Carreras and Huijsen have stepped in with the kind of energy and composure this team's been crying out for. Let's start with Álvaro Carreras. Since Marcelo left after the 2021-22 season, Madrid's been hunting for their next great left-back. Now, it looks like they've found him. The 22-year-old returned to the club from Benfica late in the transfer window, and he's been sensational. While modern fullbacks often forget how to defend, Carreras is a total throwback, a defensive wall who still contributes in attack. He's calm, confident, and positionally sharp, and his partnership with Vinicius Jr. has been a revelation. With Carreras locking down that flank, Vinicius finally has the freedom to do what he does best, attack relentlessly without worrying about what's happening behind him. That could be absolutely vital heading into El Clásico. Then there's Dean Huijsen, the 20-year-old center back who's already winning hearts and headlines. Ever since Xabi Alonso gave him a chance, he's looked like a natural fit, comfortable whether Madrid play with a back four or a back three. His rise was almost storybook material until that red card against Real Sociedad briefly halted his momentum. And what makes him even more likable? His personality. When asked about the teasing he gets from Barcelona's Spanish internationals in training camp, Huijsen's response was perfect. "Barca players tease me, but we'll talk in El Clásico." That's pure confidence, the kind of edge Madrid's been missing. After being humiliated 4 times by Barcelona last season, that kind of mentality is exactly what this team needs. Xabi Alonso knows he can't let history repeat itself, and players like Huijsen will be crucial to turning the tide. But defense alone won't win this battle. The heartbeat of Madrid's revival lies in the midfield, and that's where Aurélien Tchouaméni comes in. Under Alonso, Tchouaméni has transformed from a promising talent into a true world-class midfielder. He's always had that trademark strength and athleticism, but now there's something more: control, vision, and a calmness that makes Madrid's whole system flow. He's the glue that holds everything together, breaking up attacks one moment and launching pinpoint passes the next. If he keeps playing at this level, it could be a real difference maker heading into El Clásico. The result won't depend on him alone, but having Tchouaméni in top form might be exactly the spark Real Madrid needs to finally shift the balance against Barcelona. Now, Barcelona's shocking 4-1 loss to Sevilla right before the international break handed Madrid a golden opportunity, and they grabbed it with both hands.
And Carmona has scored! Jose Carmona!
That result gave Los Blancos a precious 2-point cushion at the top of La Liga, and suddenly, it feels like everything's falling perfectly into place. Add to that their perfect start in the Champions League, 2 wins from 2. And it's no wonder there's this growing sense that Xabi Alonso is quietly building something special at the Bernabeu. You can see his fingerprints all over the team's style. The control, the pressing, the patience in build-up. It's starting to click. But here's the thing. Inside the club, people are saying they're still only scratching the surface of what Alonso wants. His football philosophy takes time, and as much as fans are loving this early momentum, there's one game that will truly define how far Madrid has come: El Clásico. Because that's the ultimate test, right? The game that separates talk from truth. And for Alonso, this one means everything. There are still plenty of critics who aren't convinced he's the guy to lead Madrid into the future. But one statement performance against Barcelona could flip that narrative completely. A win in this Clásico wouldn't just be 3 points, it would be a message to everyone across Europe that Xabi Alonso and his Real Madrid are for real. Before then, though, they've got 2 matches to get through, 2 stepping stones on the road to October 26th, the big day. And let's be honest, it already feels like another 2-horse race for the La Liga crown, with Atletico Madrid slipping 8 points behind and fading fast. Right now, there's an energy about Madrid, a quiet confidence that this could finally be their season. But there's also an understanding that to keep that fire burning, they absolutely have to win the first Clásico. The last meeting between these 2 giants was razor close, with Madrid playing some of their best football in months. This time, they'll need to be even sharper, even hungrier, because beating Barcelona now, with all the momentum and belief they've built, could completely shift the balance of power in Spain. Everyone knows Alonso can't fix everything in 1 season. Maybe not even in 2. Rebuilding a dynasty takes time. But if Florentino Perez truly believes Xabi Alonso is the man to guide Real Madrid into the future, then this upcoming El Clásico isn't just another match on the calendar. It's an absolute must-win.